Hello everyone, Deen the Autist, and I had a short break. I figured I'd just run and get some things, got like a bottle, well not a bottle, but like a cup of sweet tea here, and I just pretty much just devoured a cinnamon roll. Yeah, I know those are not healthy, but yeah. Besides, I only work out to be lean. Well, not lean, but like be healthy rather than, trying to be the muscular like like machismo, whatever the fuck. Anyways, welcome back. The sunlight breaks through my window shortly before my alarm ruins the morning silence. I feel sore. The events of the previous evening suddenly intrude upon my consciousness, and I find myself blushing. I mean, you didn't go all the way, but like, I'm not gonna describe what happened in that scene, but it was pretty close. It was an eventful evening, and it explains perfectly the soreness of my lower back. The walk back, as I recall, had been rather tense. Fortunately for me, the only person I ran onto my way back was Kenji, and he didn't notice a thing. Well, apart from being in my general vic- vicinity, vicinity. Of course, he asked how the night went, and whether or not I'd learn anything of importance. I don't know if I opened my mouth to answer. I was too tired to care. And this morning, I'll admit that I'm feeling pretty worn out. Well, yeah, that'll happen. Still, Emmy had promised me to meet at the track, and I'd hate to disappoint. Emmy is indeed waiting for me when I arrive, doing her best to look cheery, despite the fact that she's sitting in a wheelchair. I wave to her and begin stretching. You're early. Emmy frowns and shakes her head. Ridiculous. You're late. Overslept, Zhao? All tuckered out? Well, at least she seems more like her old self. As expected, she doesn't seem that shy about mentioning our previous activities. Hey, you're lucky I could show up at all. All that cardiovascular activity last night, I nearly thought I'd have to see the nurse afterwards. Emmy laughs out loud, then her face suddenly becomes concerned. Hey, that's not I mean, you're not. Go on, spit it out. I mean, that would be hard to explain if you had an episode while we were. Oh. Oh. Now that she mentioned it, it really is a legitimate concern. Sorry, I just find this humorous. I certainly hadn't thought of it last night, of course. Other, more pressing concerns had been at hand. Wink, wink. Well, I don't think anything we do is going to be any more of a strain than these morning runs, and I handle those fine. So, Emmy considers this point. A devious light appears in her eyes. Say, hmm? The light vanishes and Emmy grins ruefully at me. I can't help but feel vaguely suspicious. I seem to have forgotten a pair of gloves. What do you need gloves for? Emmy indicates the chair upon which she is seated. For this, of course. Sure, regular moving around is all well and good without them, but I want to be able to get a good workout. And I get that. And to get to that kind of speed, you gotta have gloves if you don't want blisters. So what? Are you wussing out on me then? Do I have to do it alone? Emmy thinks for a minute, or pretends to think. If I remember right, there's a spare pair or two in the track shed. So she does seriously want to do it then. But in her normal school uniform, I'd have expected her to wear a gym outfit for something like this. Hey, what are they doing there? Emmy looks askance at me. Seriously? You can't think of why a shed full of track supplies at a school for the disabled would have racing gloves? Yeah, like, honestly, Hizao doesn't, like, think things through. I don't think things through, but, like, honestly, like... Actually, you know what? Hizao is, like, a normal high school boy. Never mind. Well, when she puts it that way, I suppose that makes perfect sense. Hey, I'm still getting used to this place. Give me a break, huh? I guess I can let it slide this time. Now come on, I'll need your help. I can't imagine what for. But then again, I didn't have any clue why racing gloves would be in the shed, so I'm not willing to press the issue. Emmy navigates her way to the shed, easily enough though. I can hear her grumbling under her breath. It's actually kind of cute. I hurry a little to reach the door first. Opening it will be easier for me than for her. The door opens and Emmy starts to wheel inside, only to come to a sudden halt at the doorway. It seems the door sill is slightly too high for her to get over by herself. She makes a few runs at it, unsuccessfully, before crossing her legs and glaring at the offending object. Stupid wheelchair. Hizao, can you give me a hand here? Sure, no problem. It's simple enough matter for me to bump Emmy over the doorway, jostling her slightly. Hey, easy there. Whoops, sorry. It's about this time that I fail to notice where I'm going, and run Emmy's chair into a mat. She gives a startled yelp and topples forward out of her chair. There's a moment of silence as I gaze in horror upon what I've done, and Emmy glares at me. Hizao? Yes? Promise me you'll never work at a hospital. Please, please, please never work at a hospital. Please. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Emmy giggles and holds up a hand. Would you kindly help me back into my chair, Hizao? As I bend down to pick up Emmy, she grins in triumph and pulls me into a kiss that quickly has us both entirely unconcerned about getting her back into the wheelchair. In fact, as I move to a more comfortable position, I confess that the chair is pushed out of the door, which is startled by the passage, swings shut. Okay, actually, they should have replaced this scene with lemons. Now, okay, so... Okay, many of you are not going to get why I said that. Why I said it should be replaced with lemons. That's because that scene is notorious in the Katawa Shoujo, I would say community, fan, whatever. I mean, it's not that big, but, you know, and that scene is notorious for a very specific lemon-scented lube. And that's all I'm gonna say. Knock, knock. Who's there? Knock, knock. That's not how the joke goes at all. Knock, knock. Already said who's there. More importantly, what time is it? Even more importantly, what day? I am suddenly catapulted into wakefulness by both the fact that the knocking still hasn't stopped, and the fact that it's noon on a school day. Now fully awake, I can remember why I was napping. Better not give that excuse to Mutuo. I wonder how long this knocking is going to continue. I guess I ought to answer the door. I'm strangely unsurprised to see Kenji on the other side. Though it appears that Kenji is surprised to see me. What the hell are you doing here, man? Well, I was sleeping. Kenji nods in understanding. Knocked out, I see. I told you to be careful around that Ibarazaki chick, man. This is the sort of things that happens when you aren't cautious. Yeah, it kind of caught me off guard, too. I thought there was, like, more space, like, between those scenes. But, like, you know, Yeah, this just goes to show how little I remember, because, in all honesty, I feel like... Sometimes I feel like I'm going too slow, and sometimes I'm feeling like I'm going too fast. Like, this is weird. I don't remember the game being like this. Okay, probably one, because, you know, the H scenes are now censored. But, also, like, I guess since I'm at the wheel now, like, it's different, because I'm actually reading, and, I'm the Let's Player now. Anyway, that's the sort of thing that happens when you aren't cautious. He makes an attempt to look at the back of my head. Did she hit you with something? Was it a drug? Stop trying to touch me. Kenji produces a flashlight and shines it in my eyes. You got a concussion? I wasn't knocked out. Maybe you just don't remember. This conversation isn't going anywhere. No, I just had a tiring morning and fell asleep. Whatever, man. If you want to be in denial about this, I guess I can't stop you. But you gotta watch out for that girl, man. She's not safe. What? She's not safe to be around. She's one of their most sinister agents. If you're not careful, there's no telling what could happen. She's brought down stronger men than you know. What the hell are you talking about? She's not an agent of anything, and she didn't knock me out, okay? I also highly doubt that she brought down anyone at all. Kenji looks almost offended. I have no idea why. You don't believe me? That's cold, man. Real cold. I'm just trying to look out for you. That's what friends do, you know? We're friends? I had no idea. Then again, I wonder if Kenji knows what being a friend even entails. I feel something like pity for him, standing there before me. Maybe he does think he's looking out for me. I know. Sorry about that. Thanks for the warning. I hold out my hand as a sign of peace. Kenji shakes it gingerly, like my hand could possibly be on fire. There's an awkward silence for a few seconds before Kenji remembers that he's still shaking my hand. I just shake. Anyway, I need a favor. What kind of favor? I'm out of money. You keep taking my fucking money. You still haven't paid me back, man. Okay. No, you aren't. You've got money kept in your desk drawer under a black notebook for emergencies. Has Kenji been going through... Jesus Christ, man. Again, I do not remember this game that well. Did you ransack my room? That's not important. I don't need money anyway. He adopts a very serious tone. I'm about to undertake a major op. It'll blow the whole conspiracy wide open, if I'm right. But it's dangerous, so I need you to do something for me, in case I don't come back. Sure, man. Anything. What the hell is he planning on doing? Should I be telling someone about this? If I go missing, wait 3 days, and then mail my journal off to the newspapers. It's hidden in my room, under a false bottom of one of my desk drawers. How do I get into your room? I don't have a key. Kenji looks at me like I'm crazy. So pick the lock. You know how to do that, right? It's an important skill to learn at a young age. Yeah, of course I know how. I'll be, sure to, do that for you if you go missing. Yeah. I don't think I want to read Kenji's journal. Either way, Kenji seems pretty happy that I've agreed to do this thing for him. Great, man. Great. I'll see you around. I got stuff to do. And he's done, and he's gone, dashing down the hallway. He made it seem so final. I hope I don't have to carry out his final wishes. Shaking my head, I close my door and walk back to my bed. I guess I should go to class, if only to catch the last half of the day. But I've come this far without going to class today. And I want to read more of that Hawking book Muto lent me. Oh, yeah. Stephen Hawking. You know, for being a, like, what was it, a world-renowned physicist, right? Um, yeah, as it turns out, he had some, interesting, not interesting, like, I do not want to see that, but, he was on the island. I'm sure he'll understand. Knock, knock. This time, the noise jerks my attention away from the book. An experience, not unlike being woken up. Who's there? Me. Aren't you glad? The voice is muffled through the door, but unmistakably Emmy's. I hop up and open the door, smiling broadly. Hey, nice to see you again. Emmy grins back, staring up at me from her wheelchair. Yeah, you should have seen me earlier, but the damned elevator wasn't working. Had to wait for them to fix it. You'd think they can keep it in better order, but no. I chuckle a bit at her vexed expression and invite her in. Yeah, like, okay, so you have a school for disabled children, right? One thing I would make sure of, I would make sure that the elevators work. I would make sure that everything that, you know, these disabled kids use work. But whatever. She wheels in easily, and with my help, she hops onto my bed. There, much more comfortable than that stupid chair. A sigh of contentment hangs in the air, and for a minute, we both just stare at one another. It's at this point, I notice the circles under Emmy's eyes. They're not that dark, but they definitely weren't there before. Before I ask about them, Emmy fixes me with a mischievous stare. So I couldn't help but notice you weren't at lunch today. In fact, I don't think I saw you at all. What happened, Fell asleep? Actually, I didn't wake up until lunch. And only then because Kenji woke me up. What had you so tired, Strenuous workout this morning? Slightly uncomfortable, too. Emmy coughs. A half-laughing, half-embarrassed noise. Remind me not to do that again. No problem. It wasn't exactly great for me either, to be honest. We'll just avoid that from now on. So, those of you who have never seen this game before, you're probably wondering what the heck happened in that scene. There's a reason it was censored. We'll just avoid that from now on. Are you, still sore? Emmy stares at me in disbelief. What? What? It's a legitimate question. Of all questions I never thought I'd be asked, that's one of them. Well, I didn't ever expect to have to ask it. So we're even. Emmy laughs at this. I guess so, huh? Well, since you asked yes, I'm still a little sore. We're never doing that again. No arguments from here. A yawn escapes her, and I raise an eyebrow. Tired? Emmy nods sleepily. Haven't slept well. Not sleeping well? I can tell that she didn't mean to tell me this either, because she gives a little start, like she's been caught lying, and hastens to add, it's not a big deal, though. What's the trouble? Emmy shrugs and refuses to elaborate. Stressed over exams? Another shrug. But after a pause, Emmy nods hesitantly. Yeah, I guess. Actually, that's why I stopped by. Emmy, she begins to look more and more miserable. Not so you'd notice, of course, but her eyes are on her lap. She's fidgeting and her voice is quiet. We need to stop hanging out so much. Huh? Why? Emmy takes a deep breath, like she's been practicing this. Because you're too much fun to be around. And I can't concentrate when you're near me. With exams coming up soon, I just can't have that distraction. Otherwise my grades would be pretty lousy, I'm afraid. I could help you study? She smiles at me, clearly unhappy with the situation. I'd love it if you could, but we wouldn't actually study, would we? I mean, even now, I'm trying to have a conversation with you, but I kinda just want to, not converse. Huh? Overwhelmed by my rugged manliness, I understand. That earns me a grin, at least. Emmy shakes her head. Idiot, you're so full of yourself. Well, I am pretty irresistible. More or less, I guess. So that's the situation, Hazao. I have too much fun around you, and if I'm going to go into exams prepared, I need to be alone. Hey, that's okay. It really seems to have been bothering her. Besides, it's only a couple of weeks, and we'll still see each other in the mornings and at lunch. We could just hang out at school, no problem. And after exams, we'll go on a date to celebrate their being over, okay? Emmy grins, pleased by this proposal. Yeah, sure. It sounds great. As if to signal the end of the conversation, she leans in and kisses me. The rest of the night is not spent worrying about exams. I wonder if Muto was like, what the fuck? He didn't come to my science class. Not class, but club. Was his owl lying to me? Does he really not care about the science? It's weird to see how easily Emmy and I can keep from seeing one another after class now. Actually, I'd venture to say that it's vaguely disturbing. As easily as we'd come together, we seem to have split apart without much trouble. Well, I guess that's not exactly true. We'd both been pretty bummed after that last night together. And we get to see each other every morning for our runs. And just our runs, I might add. Lunch too. I especially enjoy lunchtime with her. We have plenty of time to talk about everything outside of school, whereas the morning runs have become increasingly businesslike. I think it's because Emmy wants to make up for our foolery in the storage shed. Look, there's a good reason why Hazal passed out. But no wonder how much we joke at lunch. I can't help feeling a little worried about her. She seems distracted more often, and I've caught her fidgeting nervously more than once. Never figured her to be someone who cared that deeply about exams, but they certainly seem to be taking their toll, even though they haven't even started. This is just the run-up, the deep breath before the plunge. Tomorrow, the real trials begin. Or the real exams, anyway. As for me, I actually don't feel that worried about exams at all. I'm not sure why, I mean. They're pretty important. My scores here will determine my odds of getting into a good university. Hell, if I'm too cavalier now, it could spell doom for my academic career. But going into them, I feel confident that I'll come out the other side okay. Muto thinks I've got the science examination locked up at any rate. Or, as he says, the last thing that should give you trouble is my exam, Hazao. It's way beneath your talents. Then again, it is Mutuo who's telling me this. His praise of me carries the veiled implication that anything less from perfect from me would be a disappointment. Which has actually caused me to fret more than I should about the exam. Yeah, like... Okay, you shouldn't do that to anyone. You shouldn't be like... Oh, Don't worry about it. Don't worry. Don't worry. You're gonna get this good. You're gonna complete. I mean, I guess it helps for some people. Like, I understand that you're like, you're good, man. You're good, man. You're good. Be confident. Like, it's sometimes it's good to worry just to make sure that you are correct, but oftentimes that causes you to overthink and just fuck up, even though you were trying not to fuck up. It's for that reason I find myself in the library after class, poring over the textbook. Pretty simple things to look over. Some formulas of velocity, a few bits about friction. A walk in the park compared to my dreaded English exam. Never was good with languages. As I flip through my notes one more time, my mind begins to wander. After these exams are over, things should get easier. Soon we'll be graduated. Then off to college, hopefully. I remember my abortive attempts to find out what Emmy plans to do after high school. She avoided the subject pretty deftly, as I recall. Heck, it seems like that just about every time I push too hard, she dances around the subject, or distracts me through other means. Like a few days ago at lunch, when Rin wasn't around. Heh. I've done it! I'm startled from my reverie by Yuko's triumphant shout. Ah! Yuko seems mortified at my sudden startling. Oh my god! I'm so sorry. I just got it, and I really wasn't, and just that. As she stutters, I move to quickly calm her down before she gets too agitated. Whoa, hey! My words seem ineffective. Yuko continues to work herself into a complete frenzy. And it's a library and I shouldn't be. Easy there, calm down. And really, I'm setting a bad example, and now I'll get fired because I can't do anything right. Yuko! Shouting seems to work, though I draw the ire of several other students studying in the library. Yuko snaps to attention, like a soldier who just heard the captain bark an order. Sorry. Calm down. It's okay. Hey man, it's chill. It's chill, man. You just startled me a little. And that's only because I was daydreaming instead of studying. So, really, you got me back on task. This is a complete lie, but it seems to work. Yuko takes a deep breath and seems to calm down a little. Though she keeps shifting around with nervous energy that seems awfully familiar. So what's got you so excited anyway? The Yamaku cat burglar. To her credit, Yuko manages to convey her intense excitement in a whisper. I think I know who it is. I got an anonymous tip as to their identity. So I did some spying. And I think the tipster was right. Oh, really? And who was this, burglar? Yuko shuts her mouth, shaking her head decisively. Nope. Can't tell you that. Why not? It's between me and the burglar. I can't risk you warning him that I'm on his game. He could tip his hand early and blow town. Then I'm left with no perk. When did Yuko start talking like a hard-boiled detective? I wouldn't warn them. Why would I care? If you got to ask that question, then you don't need to know. It's Kenji, you... Anyway, okay. That doesn't make any sense, but okay. Congratulations, I guess. Thanks. What for? The, cat burglar thing. Yuko nods and smiles appreciatively. So, studying for exams? Well, that's the plan. I'm not having much luck, though. Really? Is it because you can't find a book? I'm really sorry. I've been meaning to clean the shelves up for weeks now, but I keep getting distracted. I'm so sorry. Whoa, wait. It's not that. I got my book right here. To illustrate the point, and hopefully calm Yuko down, I show her the textbook in front of me. My mind just keeps wandering is all. Is it because of the noise in here? I'm trying to be more strict about the noise levels, but I can't bring myself to yell at people. I mean, aren't their lives hard enough without me throwing my authority around? No, it's not the noise level either, I promise. I'm just... Hell, I don't know. Worried about Emmy. Worried about us. Worried about what happens after we graduate. Emmy's been kind of weird lately. What do you mean? Well, you know how we're dating now? I just don't know that we're actually, you know, a couple. Or at least I don't know that we're beyond friends. Though friends don't normally do the sort of things we do. Physically, we're a couple. Coupling, at least. You know, I got a certain green text story as a PDF with that same name. It is called The Coupling, and it is by Coupling Anon. Anyway, it's like, frankly, no. Anyways, I don't know if I'm gonna start reading like green text on this channel or some shit. Well, these channels, since, you know, both YouTube and Roll, whatever. It's like every time I try to find out more about her, or about what she wants to do with her life, she dodges the question. Like the other day, I was talking to her at lunch about some schools I've been looking into. I asked her, have you looked into any schools lately? She shrugs in response, says no, and when I ask why not, she says that she doesn't think that far ahead. I asked why she had that policy, and I suddenly realize what I'm about describing, and wisely decide to clam up. She what? She, changed the subject? Wouldn't talk about it? Maybe it's an uncomfortable subject for her. Or maybe she doesn't think it needs explaining. Yeah, but it's not just that. Every time I try to find out what's bothering her, she changes the subject too. It's like she likes being with me, but not being close to me. Now that I've said it out loud, I feel worse. Yuko digests this bit of information. You know, it seems to me that you're more serious about this than she is. I can almost feel my stomach twist into a knot. She's right. That's exactly what it seems like. But is that really what's going on? I mean... Sorry, I'm just talking nonsense. You shouldn't take my advice. You barely know me. I'm just a librarian, and I'm single, so you can imagine I can't know what I'm talking about. No, I think you have a point. As much as as much as it hurts to even consider it, Yuko seems to try desperately to find a way to soften the blow somewhat. Look, I'm probably wrong, but if you want to be sure of how obviously wrong I am, maybe you should talk to her. Get some time alone and just ask about it. And don't let her change the subject either. Yeah, maybe I should do that. Or maybe I should just enjoy what I have. We have fun hanging out after all. And the runs are nice, and the other activities are nice, and talking to her is nice. Do I really need to get closer to her? What I've got right now is pretty good. But that's silly. I want to get closer to her. I want to be able to help her with whatever is bothering her. But maybe I should wait until after exams are over? Maybe she'll brighten up once the stress is past. If she does, then I don't need to worry about it anymore. But if she doesn't, well, I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. I thank Yuko for her advice and head back to my room. Maybe I'll be able to concentrate more on my studies in there. I leave the room after finishing my final exam and breathe a sigh of relief. As I'd hoped, the exams weren't so bad. I managed to breeze through just about everything but the English final. And even that was acceptable. I wonder how Emmy did. Even more so, how she's doing. She looked terrible at lunch today. I mean, she was pretty happy to be out of her wheelchair, but she looked so exhausted. Something's been wearing her down, and I'm starting to really doubt it was just the exams. Should I confront her about this, though? My musing is interrupted by a tap on the shoulder. Hey, Hizao. Why'd you miss science club? I'm sorry, Muto. Why'd you miss science club? Okay. Hey, Hizao. Got a minute? Huh. I mean, I don't know if this decision changes anything, though. I suppose I could spare a few minutes. Yeah, why not? Mutuo's cool. I like him. Yeah, I've got some time. Nowhere important to be or anything like that. Mutuo raises an eyebrow, as if questioning my statement, then beckons me back into the classroom. I wanted to get some feedback from you, if I could. I know that this course wasn't quite up to your level. Don't worry about it. The science club activities more than made up for it. Did they? You know, I find it weird that, like, for some reason, going outside and running, we get we get the intelligent Hizao. Weird how that works, doesn't it? Anyways, do you think do you think that was a worthwhile activity, just for my own reference? Well, yeah, it was a great way to go further than we did in class. It was definitely worthwhile. Mutuo seems delighted by my response. That's great. Exactly the sort of thing I was hoping for. You know, Hizao, I'm glad you came here. It's always good to have a student who really gets into the subject you teach. In a way, it makes dealing with the rest of the students more tolerable. Look, don't go dissing the other students. I'm sure they're fine. You're a bright kid, too. You took this stuff like a duck to water. Or some other such simile. Thanks? You were a great help. Especially with that college stuff. There's one more thing, Hizao. A bit of advice from one scientist to another. What's that? What does a scientist do? Observe the world around him? Exactly. Good. A simple question. One that most people can't seem to answer. That's the essence of a scientist, Hizao. We observe what's there and try to figure it out. But what if there's something you can't figure out? What's a scientist to do if he can't observe something? How, for example, can we talk about quarks when nobody has ever seen one? Or black holes when observing them directly is impossible? Well, scientific equipment's pretty advanced. Mutuo irritably waves away my response. Like, don't interrupt the man. No, that's not it at all. Those are tools. I'm trying to help give you a philosophy. Think. If you can't observe something directly, then how can you observe it? Guess? How? How would you guess the movement of a quark? What is your guess based on? Of course. I should have thought of it earlier. The things it affects? Mutuo claps his hand together excitedly and whoops like, "Oh yeah! Someone gets it! Yes, exactly. Good. Remember that, Hizao. If you can't examine something directly, it's because you're looking at it wrong. You have to look at it directly if you want to uncover the truth. And if it eludes you, then look at what it leaves behind. That is the essence of being a scientist. We never stop looking for the answer. Never take anything for granted. Observe, experiment, and observe some more. There's a lot of stuff out there that makes no sense, Hizao. Your job is to get it to make sense. If nothing else, I hope you've learned that here. I think I can remember that. Mutuo smiles, satisfied. Good. Now go enjoy your time off. You've earned it. I leave the room feeling a little confused. What brought that on? Although, am I going about this thing with Emmy the wrong way? If she won't tell me, then can I go about it some other way? The question keeps spinning in my head after I made my way back to my room. What if she gets angry about it? Besides, what if it's nothing? If I go in and refuse to leave until she tells me what's wrong or something, won't that come off as clingy? I don't want to start a fight or anything or something over like this. Maybe I should just drop the matter and see how she is tomorrow before I do anything. Would it be so bad to just let it go? It's not like we don't enjoy each other's company. But, odd as it sounds, I really want to help her. I don't know what with, or if there's anything at all she needs help for, but I want to. Suddenly, a knock at my door rouses me. I open it to see Kenji. Oh god. Oh, it's you. It's me. That's it. If you had any idea what I've been through, what I've done, you'd be happier to see me, dude. I mean, that was some epic, you may never see me again shit. And here you are, just acting like I went down to the store for some milk. You're a cold man, Hizao. I really respect that. Thanks, I guess. Smart to play it safe, you know. Don't show any emotion. Keep your cards close to your chest. Unless it's time to show your cards, or if you have bad cards, then you should fold and collect your winnings. Do you understand? Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I take it the, mission went well? Whoa, awfully noisy of you, isn't it? You can't go saying things like that. These are at the delicate stage. One wrong move and BAM! Invasion. And the invasion succeeds. I thought you were going to blow the conspiracy wide open. It's bigger than I thought. I need to update my charts. And probably change some of the puppets around. You want to help? I've got some whiskey from somewhere. I am remembering something. From a, specific ending of this game. Don't worry, it's not in this route. It's something else. You can fill me in on everything. You can fill me in on everything your investigation has turned up. Better not. I'm supposed to meet her today. Gotta do that. Can't raise suspicion. Kenji nods in approval. Still keeping it close to the chest, eh? Hey, man, I respect that. Good luck. Thanks. I'm just going to pretend, for the sake of my own sanity, that he is wishing me luck in talking to Emmy. And if I squint, that whole card analogy he was talking about works here. Time to lay it all on the table. Or see if I can get Emmy to do so, rather. With a sense of something approaching purpose, I head for Emmy's room. I hop up the stairs, leading to her room, and knock on her door. Who's there? Oh, that's odd. Her voice sounds a little choked. Hey, it's me. Thought I'd stop by. Hazal? Come on in. I reach down to open the door, only to find that it's locked. More and more curious. Your door's locked. Oh, yeah, sorry. Give me a minute. In a few minutes, Emmy opens the door, grinning. Sorry, I had to put my legs on. I was napping. Despite her grin, there's something definitely off. Emmy's eyes are slightly red, and it looks like she's been crying. You know, considering what Mutua was saying, I think I made the right choice. I think I made the right choice to just listen to him. Okay. Hey, no problem. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. It's just that you look like you've been crying. Oh yeah, Hazao, you're off to such a great start on this one. What? Nah, I'm fine. I'm just happy to see you. She punctuates this with a long kiss that continues as the door slams shut behind us. I know what she wants to do now. I'm also painfully aware of how badly I want to do it too, but I break the kiss with a wrench of self-control that nearly kills me. Hey, wait! Emmy's eyes crinkle in confusion. Huh? Wait for what? We need to talk. Isn't that supposed to be my line? And never a good thing to say? She's got a point. It's usually the lead-in to a breakup, or the prelude to a fight. Maybe it can be a good thing this time. That's the hope anyway. Huh? Can we at least get onto the bed? It's my first day back on these things, and I'm still readjusting. Plus, the nurse said I should try to be on them less often, since running puts such a strain on them. Can't argue with that. It's a trap. We both know it, we both don't care. Then again, it's awfully hard to get angry while in bed with the object of your affections, so maybe there's motivation there too. I set Emmy's legs by the bedside and sit down next to her, throwing an arm around her shoulders. In silence, we just enjoy being able to be in this position again for a few minutes. Then, of course, I need to ruin it by opening my mouth. Look, I know that you've been having kind of a rough time lately, and I want to help out. I thought it was just exams getting to you, but now I come to your room and you're crying? That just kills me. But I can't do anything if you won't talk to me about it. I told you I'm fine. No, you aren't. It's obvious something's eating at you. You can tell me, you know? There's a slightest increase in tension in Emmy's voice. Why is my saying I'm fine not good enough? You're concerned, I get that, that's cool. But I'm fine, and it's nothing you need to worry about. Not sleeping and spacing out more than Rin doesn't strike me as being fine. I just want to help. Uh-huh. Yeah. I don't like seeing you like this. I want you to be happy, you know? I get the feeling that came out wrong, because Emmy fixes me with an icy stare. So you want to fix me, Hazao? She's definitely getting angry now. Want to swoop in on your white charger and save the day? Stop the nightmares, the phantom limb pains? Restore what's lost? Her voice catches in her throats, and the tears start to flow. Well, you can't! Nobody can. Nobody will. I'm so stunned by her sudden verbal assault that I remain quiet. Neither of us says anything for a while. I'm surprised that Emmy tightens her grip on me, rather than pushing me away. After a deep breath, she starts talking again. Look, I'm sorry. There's these nightmares about the accident. The accident. I should have known. It took her legs after all. But it never comes up, of course. And I usually deal with them fine because I can run. And running clears my head like nothing else. And I don't have to worry about anything while I'm running. I just concentrate on breathing, on the rhythm of things. It's easier that way. Life's easier that way. Just keep moving forwards, you know. Nothing else matters. Just getting around the next curve. And then it's the next curve, and the next, until I can't go anymore, or think anymore, or do anything but slow down and walk until I catch my breath again. After something like that, nothing else matters. But I've been stuck in that goddamn wheelchair for too long, so no outlet. Today, it just kind of boiled over a little. You could have talked to me about it, you know? You didn't have to go it alone. Emmy smiles sadly, like she's trying to explain to a child that all fire burns. Yeah, I did. And I do. But why? Why do you have to keep going through this alone? Why can't you just trust me enough to let me help you? That smile again. She leans in and kisses me on my cheek, an almost motherly gesture. She leaves her mouth. Baba. Jeez, this is the worst time to get one of these. Okay. She leaves her mouth close to my ear as she confesses this one thing to me. Because, Hizao, I've already had everything I knew ripped away from me once. I don't know what I'd do if it happened again. She pauses, as if uncertain as to whether or not she should continue. I can feel a violent churning in my gut. She continues. So I can't rely on you, or the nurse, or anyone else. Just me. That's how it's got to be. Having delivered this short speech, she looks down and covers her mouth with the back of her hand. The conversation is clearly over. I search for something to say, but can't think of anything. Maybe I should go for now. I've got stuff. Emmy doesn't even look up. She sounds tired or relieved. I can't tell which. Okay, Hizao. Go take care of that stuff. I'll see you tomorrow. I get off the bed and head for the door, pausing at the doorway. Hey, Emmy? Yeah? 1,000 things I want to say. I'm too mixed up to say any of them, though. After her admitting that she'll never let me close, I feel like my world's just been ripped out from me. What happened to that accident? I know she lost her legs, but that never seemed to bother her. What happened there? What scares a girl so badly she won't accept help, even from someone she loves? I don't know. But I want to know. I want to know so badly that being denied that answer feels like a knife in my guts. Hizao? You were saying? I'm still standing by the doorway. Nothing. Never mind. And I'm closing the door and walking down the hallway, down the stairs, out the door, into the dark. Somehow, I wander back to my own room. My brains are doing a mile a minute, going nowhere fast. I can't figure out how to deal with this. I thought that moving forward was a good thing. Dwelling less on a past that I can't change. Dwelling less on a past that I can't change. Living in the present and looking at the future. After this thing with Emmy, I'm not sure anymore. She was saying the truth. It's simpler to look at the next curve, ignoring the path gone by. No worry about the opponent left behind. No care for the spectators on the sidelines. And unfortunately, no time to watch out for lagging teammates either. I throw myself down on the bed, looking at one corner of my ceiling, as if it had the answers I want were written there. No such luck, of course. She's literally running away from something. But haven't I not been doing the same thing? trying my best to forget about my hospitalization. I am getting better, but my health isn't going to magically fix itself. Emmy has 2 legs instead of a heart to deal with, but those aren't going to magically fix themselves either. Maybe this is just as fixed as the both of us can get. My room becomes darker and darker, until I can't really tell I'm looking at a corner anymore. The morning comes too soon, on the heels of a sleepless night. Is this how Emmy's been spending her nights? Staring at the wall or ceiling, trying to stop thinking about whatever it is? Her, in my case. That clenched feeling in my gut is still there. I can't rely on you. Words spoken so casually, almost like she were teasing me or chastising me for suggesting that the earth is flat. That's how it's gotta be. The way it's gotta be sucks. I'm feeling so miserable that I nearly decide to skip the run. That would be stupid, though. It's not something I should just... It's not something I should do just to see her. Sure, that was the original reason, but it's something more now. I've started to enjoy the running itself. There are worse ways to get the blood flowing anyway. Never thought I'd say it after the first week or so, but I feel a lot better after a run. Like, no matter what else I do today, I've at least done that one thing. It wakes me up too. Emmy herself said that running always clears her mind. Maybe it'll help clear mine. I hope so. The morning is cool and clear, if a bit humid. Summer's making itself known, it seems. Emmy's already stretching out when I arrive, and greets me with a smile and a wave. Hey, Azal. The sight of her so chipper is like a kick in the nuts. How can she be so happy after yesterday? I give a half wave, and I'm surprised to receive a hug. Hey, about last night, here it comes. I wanted to say thanks. I actually managed to get some sleep for the first time in a while, and I think it's because of our talk. So thanks. How could she sleep better after our chat? She basically told me she wouldn't get any closer to me. And that let her sleep well? Excuse me, but what the hell? Emmy either doesn't notice my bafflement or chooses not to notice. No. No telling with her anymore. No problem. Glad it helped. The venom that threatens to drip into my voice is controlled for now. But I think I'd better start running now before I do something stupid. Emmy seems equally willing to get started, and before long we're darting around the track. I can tell she feels more relaxed. Her running has gone back to the more graceful movements I remember from when I first watched her. It's stark contrast to the most brutal way she'd been hurling herself around the track these past few days. Our talk really does seem to have helped her. A pity it couldn't help me. I get into the rhythm of the running, thinking back to when I couldn't afford thinking about anything else, but keeping my breathing steady and legs moving. I guess those days are gone. At least for the first couple of laps. Annoyed at the lack of success I'm having with clearing my head, I increase the pace. There's the burning sensation in my legs, my breath's coming ragged in my chest, the pounding of my heart, which I still need to be careful about, but it doesn't seem to have gotten stronger. I can feel it pumping blood through my veins. The sound thrums in my ears, but instead of being panicked as it was that day in the snow, I'm instead filled with elation. Yes, it's working. My heart, the fatal flaw that landed me here, has improved. I'm able to keep going now. Maybe one day I'll be able to stop worrying so much. Right now it doesn't matter that I have no idea what to do about Emmy and me. All that matters is that my arms and legs continue to pump in concert with one another. Nothing else. As I hit the final stretch, I remind myself that running really does help. Though, not as much as I'd hoped. I do feel better, and as I walk a few laps to cool down, I begin to remember last night in a slightly less emotional manner. Emmy wants me to stay distant from her. I can't bring myself to do so. There's got to be a way around this. Some kind of middle ground I can reach? Not sure what that middle ground is, though. Damn. I was almost feeling optimistic. Nice run, Hazal. You've really improved. Nice run. That's all I can hope for now, isn't it? Congratulations, Hazal. You're pathetic! I gotta change my attitude. Well, you know, I am pretty awesome. And yet, I just keep saying things that I don't mean. Any second now, I'll be as good as hiding my problems as Emmy is. I like to think so. Why does she do this to me? Say something like that with such real affection in her voice that it makes my heart leap. She doesn't mean it. She can't. I must be doing a worse job than I thought, because Emmy peers closely at me. Hey, you feeling okay? Maybe we should get to the nurse, huh? Yeah, I'd hate to keel over on you. Emmy looks a little shocked at my bitter tone. Don't say things like that. You've already done it once before, you know. Why does she act so affectionate? She doesn't really care. I thought she made that clear. Despite all of that, I find myself apologizing, even though I shouldn't have to. Even though she's probably just putting on an act. Sorry, huh? Come on, let's see the nurse. I can't get myself to calm down the whole time. Every time it feels like I've gotten over what happened last night, Emmy does something or says something that shows affection, and I'm back to the beginning. The image of her ending that conversation haunts me. It was like the final twist of the knife that left me feeling bereft of any hope that Emmy and I could be any more than what we are. And what are we at this point? And really, it's not like I don't enjoy the time I spend with her. Said so the other day myself. I very nearly didn't even bring anything up with her. Was just gonna hop on there and let it ride, wasn't I? With this running through my head, I find myself in front of the nurse's office, still brooding as he checks out Emmy. Checks Emmy out. Emmy comes bounding out of the door, gives me a kiss, and darts off to shower, I assume. Meanwhile, the nurse beckons me into his office to give me the ritual once-over. Any problems today? Nah. I even pushed a little harder today than I have in the past, and I seem to handle it. That's uncharacteristically risky coming from you, Hazal. You've been hanging out with Emmy too much. He's rubbed off on you. And not necessarily in a good way. Look, Hazal here has gotten evidence that his heart has gotten better. Come on. At the mention of Emmy's name, I can't help but frown unhappily, in spite of my efforts at control. Well now, this is new, don't you think? Last I checked, your usual response to Emmy's name was a grin, not a frown. What exactly happened between you two? Because Emmy doesn't seem to be in on it, whatever it is. She looked more relaxed than I've seen her in weeks, which is unusual for this time of year. What do you mean by that? By what? For this time of year? I keep trying to find out what's been bothering her, but she clams up as soon as I broach the subject. And last night she said, "Let me guess. She won't tell you because she says she can't trust you. And now you're crushed because you thought that the two of you were such more than she seems to think, right? More or less. How the heck did you know?" Hazal, I'm the nurse. It's my job to know these things. I'm the goddamn nurse, yo. Yeah, I have not heard a single kid die, so I'm guessing the nurse is actually good at his job. Anyways. Plus, I've known Emmy for long enough to know that she'd try to do something like this. It's just like her. He says this in a sort of half affectionate, half frustrated tone that would seem more appropriate if he had his cigarette dangling from his lips. As it is, he seems willing to make do with a pen. Look. Would you mind if I give you some advice? Yeah. There you go. I mean... Okay, I'm going to stop recording. Then I'm going to continue it. Thank you for watching.